camera. Be great. Let everyone know you're here. Thanks. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. It's Thursday here with our live show, live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Are giving out free picks. But yeah, got NFL preseason football and Major League Baseball going on today. So 13 games, Major League Baseball, and 2 NFL preseason football. It's official NFL Week 1 preseason. And baseball, we got the Field of Dreams game today in Iowa from the Cornfield. I expect to see a lot of balls in the corn with Andrew Heaney pitching. That's for damn sure. Anyways, that is going to be something. Rod looks frozen. Nope. Unfrozen? Frozen? Sure. Anyways, get to it. But yeah, it should be that's
frozen,
unfrozen, frozen, unfrozen. I've seen a lot of the pictures and the film footage from Iowa. It looks totally cool. I mean, not something I would normally be excited about, and but I just think it's just totally cool. It just looks really cool. I like the way, in the movie, it was just open into the cornfield, but here it is an actual fence in front of the corn. So, but I expect to see plenty of balls in the corn. Plenty. The Heaney pitching. It's the White Sox sat all those starters yesterday and moved Lance Lynn out of the starting spot to specifically load up for this game. And, it's baseball and football have tried, different things, playing games in different countries, the NFL London games, right? And then there's, the NHL games where they play in the football stadiums and, Fenway Park, they've played a game and, they've done all sorts of stuff like that. But it's the equivalent, I think, of like if the NHL did a pond hockey game, which is what they should do, right?
Yeah, we haven't done one of those yet because it hasn't been cold enough. Unless they want to, they can put it in some places, but there's a pond. It'd be up north.
But whoever, it's been a square fest.
Cool.
It's been a square fest, not just yesterday. It's been a square fest month. Like, I think the last week, what they say, like 85% of the favorites have hit. It's like 80% of the favorites in the last week have hit. Which means I'm misery for me.
It's like that.
It's just
that's the way it is though every year this time of year usually.
No, it's just this is ridiculous, man.
Every August is square.
Ridiculous, man. It's like I love it that all the squares are out pounding their chest too, talking about their great runs, and you see the ticket. It's just all favorites and overs, right? It's like, oh my god. It's like, please, Don't worry, man. NFL right around the corner. We know that's when the squares take it up the keister, right? Because when the Vegas is just like, we'll let them build their confidence up at different times. We also know there's usually a square weekend in the NFL where a lot of the favorites come in. It happens in the NFL, but it's rare. It's super rare. It's more the NFL, I think, and the NBA, both of them, more sports where the favorite wins the game and doesn't cover than any other sports.
Yeah. Big time.
Big time. And that's when the squares get crushed, right? They get crushed. And also, it takes is one upset to knock out that big card. But, it is getting to be that time. I could feel it. It's getting light a little later here. It's not getting dark earlier, but it's getting light a little later. And, we got 2 games tonight. We got the New England Patriots hosting the Washington football team, the Eskimos, up against. And then we got the Steelers second time out now against the Philadelphia Eagles. So 3-game preseason, there's always these games like where the regional teams play each other. Like the Bucks always play the Dolphins in preseason. Jets always play the Giants in preseason. The Eagles always play the Steelers in preseason. It's like every year there are these preseason games, but usually they're not the first game out of the gate. Normally they're the third or fourth game. But with just 3 preseason games this year, logistics a little different. The Reds didn't just have 2 outs; they also had 2 strikes on the guy when they gave up that home run. 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ridiculous. Oh well, that's baseball. And how about the Indians? I haven't seen a game this year where they put Shaw in and held a lead, whether I've been on them or on the other side. I haven't seen one game this year that they put that guy in and held the lead. It's like, how is he on the team? Terrible. The first pitch, first pitch they hit, and then the second batter he faced, the guy hit the longest foul ball I think I've ever seen in history, man. The thing went like 6,000 miles. And then the Indians regained the lead even after Shaw blows it. And then the next pitch, Elvis Andrus, bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Bomb. Oh, well. Like I said, man, it's only fitting. It's like I'm having my worst baseball season ever. It's now we're in Squarefest, so it's like it's not going to help me. And I don't, it is what it is. And to those of you that are winning money betting all these favorites, congratulations. You're going to need it during football and college football. And Brian Bittler and I will actually be getting along for a few months. It's when it generally seems to happen, right?
Maybe.
I think we generally do. I think you have some dumbass picks, but it's like outside of that, Brian. Like,
well, I am leaning the Miami Hurricanes in week 0, so maybe that is a dumb pick. But we'll see.
Week 1, they play week 1. They don't play week 0.
I don't know. It was a week 0.
No, week 0 is there's only 4 games week 0.
Oh, that's right. I have a different game. I think Fresno State's the one I'm looking at. All right.
So but anyways. Let's look at these games. We got the Patriots and the Washington football team going out of here. Washington, going with Fitzpatrick as their quarterback this year, and then on the other side of it, the Patriots 7-9. Both these teams 7-9 last year, and both these coaches are traditional winners in the preseason. Makes this game, I think, the tougher of the 2 games. And then we've got the Steelers and the Eagles. Which is the regional rivalry game. But, what do you guys see here? Brian, I think, we saw an under crazy, last week's game was like not even, didn't even get, not even a threat of an over. Not even a whiff.
Yeah, for me in the Eagles-Steelers game, I'm going to go under the total. I think you're going to see a lot of running the football. Eagles have positional competition for backup running back. I think you're going to see Elijah Holyfield out of Georgia, Jordan Howard, and Kerryon Johnson all get a lot of carries tonight. I think the Steelers are trying to refocus and become more of a running team, so I think you're going to see them run the ball. So I like the under 35.
Little different type of running backs there, right? Those guys, all kind of different styles. Kerryon Johnson, kind of a sturdier type back, right? And then
Boston Scott also.
Boston Scott is more like a third down slasher, and then you have Holyfield, who's small, but he played at Georgia, so he could run. Right? I don't think Georgia's ever had a bad running back. It's like
Boston Scott's kind of like Sproles, not as explosive.
I think when you look at this game, I think I agree with you there. I got to go with the under too. I just think that we saw that Steelers defense last week, but one thing that we also saw from the Steelers last week was a lot of drop passes, and I think they catch a lot of those balls this week. And also Mason Rudolph isn't playing, right? Is that still the case? That Mason Rudolph's not going to play?
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, so without Mason Rudolph, the Steelers are going to be a lot more effective. Right?
I think you're going to see Haskins get a lot of snaps.
He's miles ahead of Mason
Oh, yeah, not
I
even
mean,
close.
Mason Rudolph's terrible. I mean, he is just god awful. You know, I thought Joshua Dobbs really looked the best of the pick of the litter last week of the Steelers quarterbacks. I thought, man, he came in, he marched him right down the field. I know it was against the third string or whatever, but he was easily the most effective of those quarterbacks last week. It wasn't even close. And I expect him to be the second string for the Steelers. But then we have. So, Rob, what are you thinking on that one?
For me, I agree exactly. I'm taking the under because the Eagles, their offensive line is healthy this year. So I think, and their biggest spot of where they have to figure out who's going to run the ball is running the ball. So I think the Eagles are going to do a lot of running in this game to figure out who their running back's going to be, who's going to jump out ahead and take the ball. So love the under in that one. And I'm actually going to take the Eagles. I think their offensive line does a solid job, and they control the clock. Eagles get the win.
Got the Patriots against the Washington football team. Another interesting one here because these are two coaches that generally are very good preseason coaches. Ron Rivera, super rah-rah guy. He's not like as much as I always say Clappy is the number one, right? And then behind Clappy is probably Ron Rivera. We'll see Clappy. Who does Seattle play? Play somebody. I haven't done the video for it. So play on Saturday. They play like in that late Saturday spot.
Yeah, I didn't get to Saturday yet.
Yeah.
But,
too far ahead.
We'll see Clappy for sure. In that one, we know no one claps more than Clappy. But,
preseason, regular season, he's in there.
Clappy will be like practicing his clapping. He's got the different things. It's like Clappy will be at it, man. So, anyways, this Washington football team, I think, is one of the more intriguing teams this season. When you look at them, they were horrible last year offensively. Just absolutely terrible. And they made the playoffs. Of course, they play in the worst division in football. They made the playoffs. These teams had the same record. But the Washington football team was a playoff team. But when you look at the offense, they were one of the worst. They were the third worst offense in the NFL. So if you can make the playoffs, right, with the third worst offense in the NFL, that's like Baltimore Ravens Ray Lewis stuff the year they beat the Giants in the Super Bowl. That's what that is. And I know it was a 7-9. I understand that. But this team averaged 20.9 points per game. That's pathetic. That's like when you look at the top defenses in the NFL, that's what they allowed. The 20.9 is second, third, first, 30th, 27. So 26th ranked offense in the NFL scoring-wise. 29th ranked in total offense. And then when you look at the defense, though, for Washington, second in yards allowed per game. And this is a team, right? And to me, the most amazing part of this is for Washington, when you look at what an outlier stat this is, okay? They allowed 20.6 points per game. Okay, that was the fourth best in the NFL. How many drives from that pathetic-ass offense did they leave their defense and hang them out to dry where the other team was starting inside their 50? And I think that's what you look at when you look at, like, the great teams, like throughout history. Like my great Miami teams, right, that I love and talk about all the time, right? Those teams and, and even these Alabama teams, right, that have been rolling, whatever. How many, all the points they score and all that stuff, how many of those drives start inside the 50, A lot of them. They're always playing on a short field because their defense just sacking them, pushing them back, penalties to hold the guys from not getting sacked, right? So it's like they're always pushing the other team back in the corner, starting it back in the 50. And when you have a quarterback like like the Redskins had last year. And by the time they got to the playoffs, who was the guy that played? He was like what was he? He was like not a UPS driver, but it was something of that nature, right? The guy who it wasn't a bum. He actually played pretty well in that game. But that is something that if you have a defense that's that good, Henneke, you're onto something. You're onto something because in this day and age in the NFL, offense seems to be something that's easily fixed because the rules are built. The rules are built for offense. But this Chase Young, and I'm not an Ohio State guy at all, right? This guy could be the best player in the entire NFL. He might be the best player, top to bottom, in the entire NFL. Kind of like how Ray Lewis was in Baltimore when they won that Super Bowl against the Giants. He was the best player in the NFL. Sideline to sideline, 18 tackles a game. His team they didn't score a touchdown. Remember that? The Ravens didn't score a touchdown for 7 weeks, won the Super Bowl. It's like, that's sick. That's defense, man. And I think Washington with Rivera coaching, it's like they kind of have that. I think he is better than Aaron Donald. I think he is better. Aaron Donald had a lot of help when they went to the Super Bowl that year against the Patriots that they lost. Aaron Donald's a great player. He's great. He plays a different position, right? And he's a great player, and he makes everyone around him better. But he's played with a lot more and has had an offense that doesn't hang him out to dry on a consistent basis. And a matter of fact, their offense hung him out to dry just enough. They had the number 1 overall pick. They had a quarterback. They traded his ass away. It's like, that's how you run an organization, man. It's like Jared Goff. It's like, everyone knew he wasn't the answer when they drafted him. It's like it took them a little time to figure this out themselves. That's it. You're not going to hang my defense out to dry, man. If I'm a defensive coordinator, that's like Buddy Ryan, Can you imagine, like, having to work with that guy? I mean, people think I'm tough, right? It's like, imagine, like, trying to work with Buddy Ryan if you're, like, hanging him out to dry in his defense. It's like, it's a horrible thing as a defensive coordinator because you're judged on these things like points scored against you and this, whatever. It's like when you have an offense that's hanging you out to dry. It's like, I mean, how many times can you give the other team the ball at the 20-yard line and expect them not to get into the end zone? I mean, how many times? I mean, you see it in games, right? I mean, we're getting into NFL. We're going to start seeing this again, ineptitude. We're going to watch some Detroit Lions games together. We're going to come on at halftime. We're going to watch the Lions. David Blau they have a roster spot for David Blau. That's how bad that team is. You got a roster spot for David Blau? You stink.
I'll be taking the Lions.
Of course. You got a roster spot for DiNucci? I got news for you. Just cross the playoffs off your schedule. Just cross it off right now. You got room on your roster for a guy like that? Just cross the playoffs off the schedule. It's not going to happen. And the Eagles have a guy like this too. They got the guy from the Steelers, Hodges. Yeah, not
Eagles
gonna
always get. They always grab a guy that's like that though. They always got one of those guys there. It just must be mandatory for the Eagles that they must take one of those guys.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Anyways, I'm really super impressed. I've been I live the game. I grew up in the stands, watching games. This is why I do what I do. This is why I love sports. We didn't have any other sports where I grew up. Miami at the time, we didn't have a professional baseball team when I grew up there. We did not have a professional basketball team. We did not have a professional hockey team. And we didn't have cable TV. What we had was high school football, college football, NFL football. That's all we had. And you guys know how much of a nut over the top sports I am. So that's what I grew up on. And so this is where I live. So like all these little things. And I grew up, for us, it was always about the defense. Always about that. I made these guys watch after the show. You guys don't get to see this stuff. I made these guys watch a Miami highlight reel film of hits against Florida State. And you could almost feel the stadium shaking through the computer with every hit. the crowd going just crazy. I grew up in a defense-first, city. We were a defense-first city. The no-name defense, It's like in the Hurricanes, we had the cemetery, Put the opponent gravestones.
Yeah, I think Washington's going to be much improved this season.
I think Washington's going to be tough hombre, man.
Fitzpatrick, he's the guy that can go in there and limit the turnovers and drive.
Yeah.
He can get some points.
I think that's the whole thing with Washington here is that when you have a good defense, you don't need to do much. They were only -4 in turnover differential, and that's why they made the playoffs. The Eagles, who they were competing with for that spot, were -10 in turnover differential, and that's why they're in, and the Eagles aren't.
I just couldn't believe they're paying you plus money for the Washington to win the East because I don't see the Cowboys or the Eagles or the Giants competing with them.
But when we get to tonight's game, right? When we get to tonight's game, and we look at the Pats, Bill Belichick, always a good preseason coach too. Surprisingly, a winning preseason coach, because most of the coaching legend Hall of Fame guys were not preseason guys. Tom Landry and Chuck Noll and Don Shula, were not preseason guys. But Bill Belichick is a preseason guy. 3-1 traditionally, 2-2 is a lot of those. Brian, what do you think here, man? I said my piece here about Washington. I'm excited about the Eskimos. I'm excited about the Eskimos.
This is just the slightest of leans to the over. I think both teams had offensive woes last year. They're going to want to, score some points right away in exhibition. So I think this number of we're just sitting now 35.5 to 37. I think it's kind of light. I think you're going to see mid 40s here. So I'm going to go with a small bet on the over.
We go the other way and take the under. I think the Washington defense. I think we seen the Patriots. They were tough to move the ball and score last season. Who's going to come in and do it this year? We got Cam Newton. I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that guy to run anything, and he's probably going to get the bulk of the snaps. So, because we know that Belichick will make a play, so he's going to play. I like the under in this one. The Washington defense is deep, even if they don't play all their starters. But we know Rivera has already said that he's going to play the starters a good bulk of first quarter, probably first half as well. He wants them to get all up to snuff. So I might go with the under.
I think in this one you want to look for a field goal prop for Washington. And I almost said it. 2 years removed, I still almost said it. I'll be calling the Guardians the Indians until like 2025. But if you look at the Patriots and Belichick traditionally, it is a bend don't break defense scheme that he runs. And if you look at like the total yards allowed, 5,660, 353.8 per game, but they only allowed 22.1 points per game. So that is bend, but don't break. Because yards allowed, he's middle of the pack. But when you look at points allowed, I mean, I don't have it already sorted, even though we were just talking about it before. But if you go here, 1 for second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. Sixth in points allowed in the NFL. Middle of the pack in yards allowed. That's Bill Belichick. And that's with a bad defense that he had. That was really not his best. Chase Winovich saw significant playing time. I like a good motor guy as much as the next guy, but on a normal Bill Belichick defense, that guy's kind of like a situational guy, like the rah-rah guy, that everyone's excited when he comes in, plays, he makes play, type thing. But, he's not like a key player. It's just why they went back and got Kyle Van Noy, who was more like a Belichick steady Eddie, tackler in the middle. Yeah, I'm excited for football, in case you guys can't tell. I love it.
No.
It's like I even NFL football that I don't like nearly as much as college football or high school football. I still am excited for it. I watched the whole Hall of Fame game, the whole thing.
See, I think I got you motivated to like it.
Not really. I just think that I'm ready for some football. You know, I just think I'm ready for some football. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not going to apologize for it either. I like the under in this game with Rod.
Yeah, I might be able to get talked to the other side. I could be convinced. It's just a lean, very lean move.
Washington has some good offensive players. It's just a matter of putting it together. Rivera's he's not going to ever pay that much attention to his offense. You know, it's just that's the way that it is. It's just the way that he coaches. You know, that's his style. He was that way. You know, he was a defensive player. He was, you know.
And we know Fitz will bomb some, so he'll open it up.
He was a good player. I mean, he played
he'll definitely open it up.
He played on the best defense in the history of the game on Rivera. So I think he carries a lot of that over, you know.
Yeah,
I'm excited. All right. What are you guys selling tonight? Anything?
I'll tell you what, I got my no limit preseason NFL game tonight. Absolute love this game. So if you want to catch it for free, make sure you subscribe to the VIP show. I'm going to be giving out 2 preseason winners there. But if you just want to get it singly, like I said, you can get my no limit bet for $30 or my no limit 3-pack for $40. It's 2 NFL preseason games and my best bet in the day of baseball.
Rod?
And for me, I got one NFL preseason winner over at the site, or just like Brian says, if you subscribe to the VIP, you'll get it there for free. So definitely join up to the VIP. Best deal going. Can't miss out on that. You get all the preseason plays there for free from all of us. So definitely worth jumping aboard that. Or you have my Thursday Triple Thrashers, which includes my NFL preseason play, plus my total of the week, and another MLB play that I absolutely love. So 2 MLB, 1 NFL. Big winning day. Bounce back with 1 and 2.
Yeah, Steelers, people are saying here that, you know, someone asked who's starting for the Steelers, and someone said Rudolph probably, but I believe Rudolph's out for this game. That's what we've been talking about. But I'm not 100% sure. But I think the less he plays, I don't see that he's out, but the less that he plays, the better it is for the Steelers. We know that. I think Dobbs deserves way more playing time. I think Rudolph is, I think he's gone.
I believe Rudolph plays, but it doesn't say that he's not.
I believe he's not going to make the varsity this year. I think he's on his way out of Pittsburgh.
Well, they probably could trade him and get
nothing.
7th round.
He's terrible.
He could be he's a backup.
He stinks.
You should see some of these other backup quarterbacks. I've been looking at
He's
them.
better than David Blau or DiNucci.
I mean, the Lions have some real bums on that.
He's better than David Blau or DiNucci. Speaking of which, it looks like Cooper Rush is out this week for the Cowboys, so we'll see plenty of Danny Bonaducci over there for Dallas this week. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, Rudolph is going to start.
Ugh.
2nd straight preseason start.
Ugh.
Now your boy Mitchell Trubisky should get some time with Buffalo this week.
Yuck.
I like the Eagles even better.
I like they have some other quarterbacks in Buffalo that are more intriguing, like Fromm.
Fromm would be interesting to see there.
Anyways, let's get to the Major League Baseball card. Is it heaven? No, it's Iowa. Field of Dreams game. Sure to smash that like button. Just like Fonz. Hit the thumbs up. So we were talking yesterday about like making things more professional around here. You think I should throw on a collared shirt? You think that'll do it?
I'd like to see you in a collared shirt.
I think I have my golf shirts I could wear. I also have all my Aloha shirts. I got a ton of Aloha shirts. Throw those on. I also got like those are all real fancy clothes back from, you know, when I go to conferences and stuff, but I haven't been in a while. You know, you go to like the party, you know, and you got to dress up. People are like, "Who the
Joe
hell's
D
that
looked
guy?"
fancy last night. He was dressed up.
At Usher, right? He went to see Usher.
Yeah, he went to see the Usher concert.
Yeah.
He had a new suit on.
I was talking to him on the drive-through about it. Before the drive-through, we had a good talk before the drive-through. Me and Joe, Big Al, Marty. Tony was like, he had to break up the conversation to start the show. Tony got involved in it too. We're all pretty excited about the everything that's going on. You know?
Tony always has to do that though. all the green room goes nuts. Everybody's all like,
but I think Big Al and me have like a different view of things than the rest of everybody else. You know, I think we just know too many people and know too much of what's going on, and it's kind of like, you know, we have to, you know, have to speak our piece. I guess you could say. But it's like, I heard some things last night from, you know, that, I mean, it'd make your head spin, you know, just the way other people run their business. I just don't understand the business model. But that's okay. It's not my business, and it doesn't matter because we got our so I've been talking about the new site stuff, and I've been, you know, referring to it in some of the picks I've been making and things like that. And it looks like Monday I have a meeting to take a look at it. It's phase 1 looks to be complete. I'm not sure if we're going to have that money moves thing or not. I haven't really looked at it. It's not that important. The other tools are way better than that. So, you guys, I'm telling you, fantastic. It is state-of-the-art stuff you've never seen before, I promise. Stuff that's bigger and better, like the sites that you think are the ultimate source right now. I promise. I'm not just blowing smoke. When I first saw this stuff that they had, I've been doing this online for, you know, almost 15 years now, right? And it's like when I saw this stuff and these products and this, you know, I was like, I've never, ever seen this before. I've never seen this before. And it's like, I've never seen anything remotely close. The stuff that I'm using, you know, out on the internet, the stuff that I use to cap games, when people ask you, hey, what do you use? What stuff do you use? This is better than anything I use. I'll tell you that much. It is way better. And I'll tell you who also said the same thing, who also saw the same stuff that I saw, was Big Al. And he said the exact same thing. And he's been around even longer than me, a lot longer. And he's worked with everybody. He was back on the old Jim Feist TV show. Remember that, Brian? Or was that before your time?
I remember that.
They used to have a TV show on regular TV. It was Feist, Big Al, Spritzer. They had Koken was on the show. Right?
I think you're missing one guy.
Yeah, I'm definitely missing somebody. It was Jim Feist was the anchor. Big Al was like, he had won the Hilton, I think, like back then. So he was like big gun. I only know like a few people that have won the Hilton. It's like lately, it's like no professional cappers win the Hilton. It's like the World Series of Poker, like when they have this run of amateurs, right, that win. A lot of luck involved because once again the picks have to be in early. It's not even the Hilton anymore. It's the Westgate. Right? Anyway, Sean Nolan's getting a start here for the Washington Nationals up against Marcus Stroman. 12-10 start. The Mets have had more canceled games than any other team. It's just an amazing thing. But they are letting it all get away from them. JT Brubaker and Wade LeBlanc in Pittsburgh. And Ranger Suarez up against the Dodgers. The Phillies really looking sad.
Bunch of losers. That must be because I've been riding I was against them the last 3. They lost. Then I go on them and they lose 2 more. I'm a bastard.
We'll go one more. We'll go the A's and the Indians. I mean, the Indians put in, God, what's his name? Every time they put this guy in, he's never held the lead. Every time I've watched him all season long. And they put him in last night. Sure enough, blow the lead. Anyways, Eli Morgan hasn't been bad, plus 155. Kind of like, but the A's have just absolutely owned the Indians. I think this is going to be under 9.5. It's going to be my pick there. And then I think the Pirates-Cardinals is interesting, but the Pirates are playing so bad. And Brubaker just gets hammered by the Cardinals. He's lost 3 in a row to them. It's like, ugh. Rod, what do you think of this? Shaw is that pitcher for Cleveland. He stinks. Wonder what his inherited runners looks like.
Well, in Oakland and the Indians, I like the under in that. 9 is about the number of the runs we'll be lucky to see in that game. So we're getting a half run in that one. So I like the under 9.5 in that one. And I like the over in the Nationals and the Mets for 3 runs. And with Buddy starting there, he hasn't. Sean Nolan hasn't started in 4 years, 5 years.
He could start.
It's going to be rough. I like the over 6.5 in that one. In the 7-inning shortened game. 1 over, 1 under. Staying away from the Cardinals in Pittsburgh and the Dodgers in Philly. Philly is awful, but Suarez isn't horrible. If Philly's just on their own.
Rod's internet sounds like he's drunk.
He's probably got a Dodgers hat on. I'm going to take the Phillies. I'm going to take the Phillies. I think Fiddler's on the Dodgers. So
I'm not on either one, too, because the line wasn't officially out early enough for me. But Ranger Suarez only goes 3 innings, and then you turn it over to that Phillies bullpen with these Dodgers hitters and stuff.
Hey, Brian, how do you like this promotion? Follow all 3 of us on Twitter. I'll give you a week of free consensus report.
Oh, it sounds like a good idea.
When should we do it?
Nice.
Maybe do it next week, right? For week 2 of NFL preseason.
Monday.
Yeah, we'll just run it for the entire NFL preseason. See if we can each get over 10,000 followers or something.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, well, we have 2.7 million people that watch our YouTube channel every month, so I'm going to guess that we can get there. It's not going to take that much to move the needle. That's the beauty. That's the beauty of having bulk audience like that. Is that, I mean, we did all those promotions and the Christmas in July and everything. I never even sent an email. It's terrible. But our new partners are really big on all that stuff and all kinds of on promotions and contests. And I mean, you guys are gonna love these guys. I think I'm gonna have them on. And I think you guys are really gonna like them. I think I'll have them on the show at some point, just to talk about like what their vision is for Pick Dogs. I think you guys will really like it. It's refreshing. Be less me talking. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, Brian, did you give out the Pirates yet?
No, in the times of Captain Obvious Picks, because that's the times we're in right now. I'm going to go with the Oakland A's. Much better starting pitcher on the mound, and they've owned the Indians.
That's the Al Niño's theory right there. He always says better starting pitcher. It's like starting pitchers go like 5 innings.
He's gonna really kick asses, but just
I mean, there's a handful of starters that go like 7, right? Like Adam Wainwright again went the distance last night. Our comeback player.
It's Minea, right, for the Oakland A's.
No, it's Bassett.
No, it's Bassett. Well, he's another. He's just like Minea. He's good for 6, 7 strong innings.
Yeah, no, they're low in the pitch count guys because they put the ball over the plate. If you put the ball over the plate,
if you play the White Sox, they're going to take him out.
We did that stat on Greg Maddux, was it last week? His entire career, 20,500 batters faced. 310 saw a 3-0 count, and 185 of those were intentional walks. I mean, if you throw the ball over the plate and you have decent stuff, you can get deep into games, right? And that's pretty much what it's all about.
So I lean to the A's, but my better free pick and one of the few sharp plays or non-square plays are going to hit today. Pittsburgh Pirates, I think, get a W. Brubaker got blown up last time out, but let's remember the Cardinals are just 25-31 on the road, and they've got no ace on the mound tonight, that's for sure. Pirates losers to 7 straight. Too many people humping the St. Louis Cardinals here. I'll take the Pirates at home.
All right. We got the Cubs and the Brewers. The Cubs have really laid down. I mean, they have really laying down. You know, they've taken laying down to a whole new level. Kyle Hendricks going here. He's got to be playing.
You nailed that yesterday, the Brewers. You said like -10 or something.
Yeah. I mean, why not? They're not even if they're not going to show up, then why bother? And Corbin Burns, with the DeGrom injuries, he's got a shot at the Cy Young here. I have to believe that. Who are the National League Cy Young guys? Like after DeGrom, right? It's got to be Corbin Burns. Who else can it be? Unless you go out to L.A., Walker Buehler.
Yeah, Buehler. Buehler's having a really good year.
So you have Walker Buehler. You have, is he better than Burns? Release the hounds.
This year, yeah.
He's better than Corbin Burns?
Oh, for sure.
Walker Buehler is?
I
don't think so. Burns filthy. Do you see him?
Yeah.
Dominates out there, man. Let's look at the numbers. I always like to look at the numbers. They kind of tell the story sometimes. They always tell the story sometimes. Walker Buehler has 12 wins. That doesn't mean anything these days. So in the National League, the ERA guy, the ERA leader is, well, we know who's on the wrong end of it. So Walker Buehler has the best ERA, followed by Woodruff and Burns. So Burns is 2.23, Buehler 2.13. Burns is 7-4, Buehler's 12-2. Burns has only given up 91 hits. Buehler's given up 100. Man, it's close. Buehler's given up 13 home runs, and Burns has only given up 5 home runs. Man, it's tight. It's going to be tight. Burns has got him on strikeouts, too. He averages almost 4 more strikeouts a game than Buehler. It's going to be close. It's going to be real close. But I would say that at this point, it's Buehler, and then the next 3 ranked pitchers are all Brewers: Woodruff, Burns, and Peralta. When you go by ERA, and then Gausman, who's also going to get some votes, and Wheeler, who should get some votes too. Anyways, all right, get back to it. We can get back to the game, to the picks. But Woodruff and Hendricks. Then we got the Mets and the Nationals. These guys, the Mets, you could just pretty much just can't count on their games being canceled. I mean, then you got the Orioles and the Tigers. Tigers, Miggy, number 499 yesterday. And then you got the Rays and the Red Sox. Now, that game at Fenway, when you look at the score, which was right 20 to 8, but it was like 20 to nothing.
20 to nothing.
It was something like
right?
that. They scored like 8 runs in the 9th inning. The Rays, they were smashing it over the fence. The Rays are not the type of team that says, we lost by 20 yesterday. They're just not that team. Very dangerous here. And Brian, you going to take the Cubs against the Brewers? You take a shot?
Yeah, you know what? I am taking the Cubs today because if they are going to win a game, it's probably going to be today. Brewers fat and happy. Cubs lost 9 of 10. Hendricks is on the mound. Their best pitcher is 13-4 with a 1.27. Woodruff is only 7-6. Brewers just don't score a lot of runs for him. Don't give him a lot of run support. I just think the Cubs catch him with their pants down today. And like I said, it is Captain Obvious time of year, but I think the Cubs get a rare win. And I'll take the Baltimore Orioles lay-in -140. I think the juice is high for a reason. John Means has been pretty dominant this season, around a 2.89 ERA. I think he can get the Baltimore Orioles back on track. They've cost me two. I've lost 2 in a row with the Orioles, but this time I'm going a little lighter on them.
Rod?
And for me, I agree. I'm going to take a shot here with the Cubs as well. Hendricks, he's been solid. So I'll take a shot here with Hendricks. Woodruff 0-2 with a 3.44 ERA his last 3. So if the Cubs are going to steal one, this is the game to do it. So I'm with Bittler. I'll take a light little $50 on the Cubs to steal this game. So give me the Cubs. And I like the over in the Nationals and Mets game too. I like both games to go over. I think we see a whole pile of runs, Mets and Nationals today, if they get the games in. The 2 I like.
I like the Brewers to absolutely murder the Cubs in this one. I've been just killing them all series, and I think they're going to kill them again. The Cubs have no answers in the batting lineup, and that's the problem here, that if you don't score any runs, you're not going to win the game. And Woodruff, yeah, he gave up a couple runs there, but that was against a Braves team that we know played really hard in that Milwaukee series. We talked about it. The other one that he gave up the 3 runs in 7 innings on 5 hits, that was against the White Sox. And, the last time out, 6 hits, 1 run allowed, 8 strikeouts against the San Francisco Giants. The 1 run was a home run on 104 pitches. I don't think there's any shame in any of those outings. And when you're facing off against, the 3rd string triple A team of the Cubs, I like my chances here with a guy with a 2.23 season ERA. I'm going to go with the Milwaukee Brewers here. I think it's the safe bet. I love it when people ask what's a safe. It's my safe bet. So, nothing safe about it. -190. Trust me on that one. It's like, because you got a lot of people understand that, like, outside of there's probability, but then there's also risk return, right? So it's like, there's probability, but then there's the risk return on that. And what people don't understand, or what they seem to discount, right? So the reason why Bittler's picks can be not popular, right? And why my football picks are sometimes not that popular. I think they're popular with our hardcore football crowd, that will be back, right? But they're not popular with the rah-rah, right? The rah-rah, those guys are at the other channels, right? It's like those guys are at the other YouTube channels. It's like, we're not going to get the favorite and the over here, in football. It's just not going to happen. And, it's just not. That's not how I roll. It's not how Brian rolls. Rod can go that way sometimes. He'll change the hat to the Chiefs or whatever. We know that, right? That's
I think NFL, I usually have one team that I always get hooked with, and I'm like, oh no. So
Rod,
away from that one team.
Rod,
cheer for them. You got the Chargers. Oh my goodness.
Rod will go on a team, right? And he always has the Bills kicker, right? It's always with the Bills kicker. It's like, but I got just in case I got my Bills over here, It's like, and then all of a sudden it's like you get into like the Bills are like 12-2. It's like Bills Mafia, baby. Hashtag Bills Mafia, bro. he's got his license plate out. Bills Mafia.
Gotta be. We live in Canada. You can also go to the Seahawks if they're playing good too, because there's another. I'm in that end of the country that we're. This end of Canada, we all like enamored of the Seattle Seahawks, because that's what our local game is.
For
I
us.
get everything. I get everything Seattle Seahawks. I even get they have an after show on Sundays. It's like an hour long. They get right in there, and it's like, boy, local.
We're Seahawks, 49ers, and any team that has Marcus Mariota. But now with Tua, I'm not sure if he'll get the Marcus Mariota treatment or not. He didn't really get it last year as much, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see if he gets it. But it's like they'll interrupt programming for a Marcus Mariota completion. It's like, Marcus Mariota has just completed a 6-yard pass. We get back to your regular programming.
You're guaranteed Seattle everywhere.
I love some Marcus Mariota. Love him. Any of these other games here, Rod?
Those were the two I like. Cubs, over.
How about Trevor
you
Williams?
were at the point where you were giving out a pick, Mitch.
I'm taking Washington in Game 2 with Eric Fede against Trevor Williams. I just can't help myself. I have to bet against Trevor Williams, and if he's minus 175, then all the more reason to bet against him. I'm sorry, he's not a minus 175 pitcher. He's a plus 175 pitcher. And if I can get plus 160 on anybody against him, I'm going to take him. I would take the Cubs at plus 160 against Trevor Williams. That's how freaking bad that guy is. He stinks. What are Williams' number that justifies a minus 175 number on him?
It's not really the pitcher, it's the team in a must-win spot against a team that's basically...
Yeah, but 4.1 innings pitched, 7 hits, 6 runs, 5 earned, 3 strikeouts, 2 bombs. 5 innings, 10 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned, 3 walks, 2 bombs. 6 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs, 5 earned, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, 3 bombs. I don't know. I don't like the way this is looking. .06 ERA. Yeah, he's going to get hit hard. Extremely hard. Now, remind me to put that one in my parlay.
Over.
Remind me to put that. It's 7 inning. So, yeah,
over. It was 6.5, and they even the book's like, oh, we better put this up to 7. Williams is in there.
Rangers against the Mariners, the Reds against the Braves, and is this heaven? No, it's Iowa. White Sox and Yankees in the Cornfield. Brian, what do you think of this Cornfield game?
I'm excited to take a look at it. It should be fun to watch. For me in that game, out of that slot, I'm taking the Chicago White Sox minus 1.5. It's super square, but the squares win once in a while. And White Sox probably had this game circled. Lance Lynn, tremendous pitcher.
Well, they rested Robert Moncada. They scratched
Lance Lynn. If Vegas is ever going to give you a W here, I think this is the spot where you go big on the White Sox and lay the run line. So Chicago's my only pick.
It's a rare Bittler Heaney fade.
I think I faded him last time he started.
It's a rare Bittler Heaney fade. I'm not saying never. I'm just saying rare. You're not. You're a Heaney guy. Rod, you see anything you like here?
Yeah. Definitely not enamored with that
slot. Nice slot. Anyone enamored with hitting the thumbs up? Hit the thumbs up, guys. Helps. I don't know how many we got. I don't even check, but I like saying it.
I think we got 4 thumbs up and a mom like.
4 thumbs up and a mom like. Great radio show. Mom comment. Can I get a mom comment? Your mom's still alive, right, Brian? Throw us a bone.
Yeah. She's usually out doing her gardening this time of day. I'll have to get her to like.
My mother was never like the coddling type, you know. Like my mother was always looking for a job for me. She was trying to find me employment. Whatever I did, it's never good. Here the post office sign. Here. Oh, man. She would never smash the like, I'll tell you that. She'd be the thumbs down. You guys suck.
My mom would have given the thumbs up.
My mom would. No way.
She would have been giving the thumbs up. She would have sit there about this time of day. She would have been drinking her coffee. For sure, she would have given the thumbs up.
My mother would get like 4 minutes in. She's like, I heard enough of this crap. I like the Angels here against the Blue Jays. It's not in the slot. I don't love this slot either. I kind of like that under in the Braves-Reds game with Vladdy and Muller. It would have gone under last night, except it went extras.
Extra innings.
Joey Bats. Joey Bats with the home run with in the ninth inning. For the Reds to get it to extras and to hit that over. But I'm excited to watch. I'm excited to watch that game from Iowa. I am. I'll have it on probably have it on the big TV and have the NFL on the small TVs. But we've got the Angels and the Blue Jays, Ohtani and Barrios.
You're an Ohtani guy today, huh?
I am an Ohtani guy today. I am. I think it's a great day to fade the Jays. I do. Taylor Widener has got a job with the Diamondbacks, still with the varsity, plus 200 against Yu Darvish, who's kind of struggling lately. And then, I'm sure Brian's got the Rockies circled. Herman Marquez up against Logan Webb. And the Giants, it doesn't always look pretty, but they get it done. Now, 32 games over 500 with the Dodgers, pounding the Phillies. They've gained 0 on the Giants.
Dodgers will catch them.
No, when and how? The Giants have all those head-to-heads with the Padres coming up, but you think the Padres are going to take them down with that pitching staff? Oh, no, not Weathers. It'll be Weathers. Not Weathers. Not Blake Snell. I like the Angels here. I like Shohei up against the Jays. The Jays have had some fun out here. I loved them yesterday with Manoah, but I gave it on the drive-through, the minus the big super run line and all that other stuff. But I think in this one, I think the Angels win this one. I think Barrios is, to me, the most overrated, underachieving pitcher out there. Not the most, but he's on the list. He's on the list. He's a guy that really has never put it together. High expectations, high draft choice. On my list of players, right? He's on that list of guys. And everyone knows what list this is. The players drafted ahead of Mike Trout list, right? Zach Wheeler, Jose Barrios, right? And I'll take Trout, over him. And even on the injured list, I take Trout over him. And Barrios is a guy that he has quality stuff. He is a good pitcher. He has never stepped it up to be that number one overall guy that you need if you're going to draft this guy over Trout. And I think that, and that's why the Twins were willing to part with him, because they felt that he had topped out, and this is as good as he's ever going to be. You don't trade the next Sandy Koufax, right? It's like, this is as good as he's going to be. He's never going to get over that hump. He's never going to be able to avoid that big inning. It's just not going to happen for him. And I think here in Anaheim, I think he pays the price. I think the Angels beat him.
So you're taking the outfielder that's pitching?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am.
All right.
Who would you rather have, Brian? Wheeler or Barrios?
Wheeler.
Exactly. Who would you rather have, Mike Trout or Barrios?
Oh, Mike Trout.
Exactly.
Trout hasn't played for half the season.
Who else was in that draft? Carlos Carrasco. Carlos Carrasco or Barrios?
Oh, Barrios all day.
Over Carrasco was number 1 overall in that draft.
Yeah, the Phillies took Carrasco. Anyway, in that time frame, I'm going to go with, if it's my turn, I'm just going to skip whoever. I'm going to take the Colorado Rockies on the money line with Herman Marquez starting. 3.42 ERA, pitching to Colorado. 1.13 whip for Marquez. Giants, No,
I got my years all mixed up. Barrios wasn't in the Trout draft. It was Wheeler. It was Tyler Matzek and Drew Storen, and Mike Leake, Mike Minor, Zach Wheeler, 6th overall.
Take the Rockies for an easy winner.
Steven Strasburg was the number 1 in the Mike Trout draft. Not Carrasco. Carrasco was number 1 in the Barrios draft. Shelby Miller was taken ahead of Mike Trout. And so was Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson or Mike Trout? Who would you rather have, Brian?
Mike Trout.
Shelby Miller? Shelby Miller or Mike Trout?
Shelby Miller.
A.J. Pollock or Mike Trout?
A.J. Pollock.
I mean, how do you blow that one? How do you miss that? You know? It's like, how in the hell do you miss that? Do you start questioning when you take Grant Green at 13th overall? Do you start to question that? You know, like, how did this guy miss so badly? Matt Hobgood was 5th overall. Tony Sanchez, 4th overall. Dustin Ackley and Donovan Tate, all top 5 picks that year. Rod, who do you got? Did you give out your picks here?
No, for me in that time slot, I like the under in the Jays and the Angels. You look, the Jays are 8-1-1 their last 10 road games to the under. So we're going to take the under in that one. And you look, Ohtani, he's 6-0 to the under. His last 6 starts with 7 days rest between him pitching. So I like a lower scoring game. We've seen a whole pile of runs yesterday. We're going to take the under in this one. I like the under in that one. And I think the Giants kick the snot out of the Rockies. The Rockies on the road are just awful. I think Herman is pitching. Giants blow out the Rockies.
Wow, this could be the most underachieving first-round draft I've ever seen the Barrios year. Holy smokes. Correa was first. Byron Buxton, Zunino, Kevin Gausman, Kyle Zimmer. Then Albert Omora was taken 6th. Max Fried 7th. Heaney was 9th. Addison Russell 11th. Ugh. Whew. Tyler Naquin was 15th. Giolito 16th. Waka was 19th. Lucas Sims 21st. Marcus Stroman 22nd. I don't know, man. Just not feeling it. Jose Barrios 32nd. So actually, when you look at all the guys that were drafted ahead of him, maybe he wasn't that bad of a pick.
He was like the second best player in the draft.
Well, behind Correa and Heaney. So he's 3rd.
Heaney goes to the White Sox next year.
It's not out of the realm. Lance McCullers Jr. was in that draft. Jesse Winker, 2nd rounder. Alex Wood. Parlay time. Who you got? I got the Nationals in part of mine in game 2. I know that much. Rod, who you got?
For me, I'm going to take the Phillies on the money line, the Cubs on the money line, and the Giants on the run line. Parlay those 3 up today.
Oh, we're doing the VIP show right after this show. So we'll do the premium, and then we'll send that out, and then we're going to do the VIP right after that. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Brian.
Yep, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Pirates on the money line, the Chicago Cubs on the money line, and the Baltimore Orioles. 3-game parlay. Lately I've been doing 2, but today I'm doing 3. I like those 3.
Gee, thanks for the treat there, Brian.
I'd even throw in the Rockies if you're feeling ballsy.
I'm taking the Nationals game 2, Fed a plus 160. I would consider the reverse run line in that game as well against Trevor Williams. I'm offended by minus 175 on Trevor Williams. That's taking this square money just too far. That's whole square favorite thing. That's going way. They've crossed lines there. Taking the Nationals. I parlay them up with the Arizona Diamondbacks, Taylor Widener, and the under in the Reds-Braves game. Reverse run line is when a team is favored by taking the underdog to win by at least a run and a half. Is the reverse run line. It's called going for the big payout. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Like I said, premium video, and then shortly thereafter a VIP show. So all coming up right now for early show. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a great day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. Let's make it a winning day. I'm going to try like crazy to act more professional tomorrow. I'm really going to apply myself. Have a great day.